Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and with me today, I'm going to be very kind to her and just say my very good friend and co-host, Rosemary Plywood.
You're always very kind to me. I would expect nothing less.
Well, I didn't want to go down that road of, I did not think about your interview today, so I just figured I'd just not do it.
Let's just go. Yes. Okay. Some really cool stuff happening in Greensboro. Greensboro College taking on a really big, bold new initiative to support Guilford County's growing economy and our friends and neighbors who are just looking to advance their skills. It's called the Center for Innovation and Workforce Development. Dr. Lawrence Zarda, president of Greensboro College, is here. What a treat. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for
coming.
coming.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So what is this Center for Innovation and Workforce Development?
The center is, while it's a new initiative, it's really based on work we've been doing for a number of years. Greensboro College is 183 years old. Next fall, we'll begin our 184th year right downtown. And this new initiative does not change the fabric or the core of what Greensboro College is, which is a fairly traditional private liberal arts college. Founded in the Wesleyan tradition of higher education. Lately, last 2 to 3 years, with a lot of new energy in the faculty, we've begun a number of new degree programs, but they are degree programs. They are the typical 4-year general education with your specialty major on top of that in such areas as public health, data science, supply chain management, interactive media and gaming, and others. And that's part of our core curriculum. But we were noticing very clearly that over the past 5 years, really even before the pandemic, that the workforce needs in the region were becoming startling, actually, in terms of what the demand is. I was asked to serve on the steering committee a few years ago of the Piedmont Triad Partnership's talent alignment strategy effort that was made, where the whole intent was using, some national level experts is to try to align what we're producing out of educational institutions with what employers are looking for. And I also am co-chairing Guilford Jobs 2030, which is the local initiative to fit into my future NC to increase the number of people in the North Carolina workforce that have a high-quality post-secondary credential. Degrees count a lot, but these are also certificates and others.
So ready to work.
Ready to work.
Absolutely. Yep.
And the pandemic and the Great Resignation certainly sort of refocused a lot of people on what we need to do in our workforce. But then recently, the announcements of Toyota and Panasonic, the distribution centers, Boom Supersonic, and more to come, the expansion of healthcare, we really thought it was time at the college to be additive and add to what we're doing, not to change the core of what we do, but add what is now the programs of the Center for Innovation and Workforce Development.
So what kind of programs will the center offer?
These are short course, fully online certification programs. Okay. We're beginning with 14, with 11 in general healthcare and 3 in information technology. We anticipate that growing to something like 35 to 40 over the next 2, 3, 4 years. Some examples of the kinds of programs they are in healthcare, one that I think a lot of people look at and gets their attention is a 3-month program to become a phlebotomist technician, a phlebotomy tech. We also have med tech, health IT, and physical therapy tech, and so on. They range in length from 3 months to 8 months and in cost from $2,000 to $8,000. And then in information technology, right now there are 3, data science, computer coding, and cybersecurity. Those are a little more extensive. They take about 8 to 10 months and cost around $12,000. But if an employer or an employee is able to commit to the program, they're in the workforce with that credential in less than a year for a very reasonable price as compared to a 2 or 4 year degree.
Yeah. And cybersecurity is just huge now.
I mean, all those fields are just growing. Yeah. And, we hear the talk about a skills gap and, a talent gap. And so this is really meeting that need and trying to, not only get people the skills that they want to go on to a new career or to advance their career, but also to help the employers who need people to fill those jobs.
It's very much the case, Rosemary. In addition, we also, now maybe it's because of our background as, the Wesleyan tradition and being a liberal arts college affiliated with the church, but we see it's a matter of access and equity as well. There are employees in the workforce who might never think that they would ever go to work for a major corporation or a major healthcare provider. But if they could get that phlebotomy tech certification in 3 months for $2,000, and they get inside, pick one of the health systems,
Right.
one of the hospitals, they're inside the system now, and who knows where they are in 5
Right.
or 10 years.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because this is not the first certification programs that actually Greensboro College has
Correct.
offered, and some folks have kind of done that a little bit. I've been hearing.
They have. We've been at this we've had adult education for a long time, but we've had a consciously designed certificate program for about 6 years now. But they've been almost exclusively on ground, on campus, primarily weekends. And we have had people who have gotten their certification as a paralegal, who are now working for some of those wonderful white linen tablecloth law firms downtown.
Yeah.
Others who have gotten their certificate in human resource management, the SHRM certification, and are now working for pick a major employer.
Yeah.
Right.
As well as some of the more typical you see on campuses like SAT prep, LSAT prep, GRE, and so on. So we had an existing program that was primarily on ground, fairly traditional, and this now takes it to scale and online.
Right.
Yeah, love it.
So why is now the right time for this center?
I think when I first started getting these questions, especially from my board of trustees, I asked them to go online to any employment agency ad and just start reading what the demand is out there right now. It's stunning. I think the last time I talked to our director of the program, one of our certificates is a medical technician, and I believe that in the triad there are 300 vacancies right now.
Oh, wow.
And if you go to the school system, go to Lincoln Financial, go to Cone Health, the demand is remarkable. Now, the great resignation that people talk about, we're not exempt at Greensboro College. We've had our fair share of turnover as well. But there are many people that during the pandemic, and again, I've heard two broad theories. One is people might think they're overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated, so they want to go elsewhere. In other cases, the pandemic changed their view of life,
Yeah.
and they want to do
Yeah.
something different with their lives, and we think this fits into that.
Yeah.
And people aren't doing one career their whole lives anymore. I mean, there's,
right.
Now is a good time to shift.
Yeah.
10 years is a good time to shift.
That's right.
There are options,
Yeah, we have had people at Greensboro College who were with us for years. One example would be a very, very well-respected, tenured faculty member in English Communication Media Studies. She and her husband decided they wanted something very different. They moved to the mountains of Utah. And that's kind of part of what we also see and
Right.
why the timing is also critical. But there's one estimate I saw not long ago that within the next 5 to 10 years, Greensboro, Guilford County will have 50,000 more jobs than we have today.
Wow. We're excited. It's
Yes.
some good stuff. So what are people saying about this center? I know that the big public release has just happened in the past week or so, but you've been talking about it with some business and industry insiders for a while now.
We have. And the team that we put together, which is based on a national consulting network, we took the time to interview people like Mike Fox, president of the Piedmont Triad Partnership, and many other things. Brent Christensen at the Chamber of Commerce, Walker Sanders at the Community Foundation, Kevin Baker at the Piedmont Triad Airport Authority, and Tim Rice, recently retired CEO of Cone Health. And exclusively, they responded with, yes, now is the time, do this. And they've been very, very supportive.
Love it.
That's great.
All right. Want to find out more? Check out the center online at innovationandworkforcedevelopment.greensboro.edu.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much. And as Rosemary said, check out the website. We'll see you online soon.
Fantastic. Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN's available on Spectrum Channel 13
AT&T U-verse Channel 99.
and North State Channel 31
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
at greensboro-nc.gov.